Okay, now that we have our facts and have summarized them, let us now conclude this presentation with a closing statement. Now, this closing statement is actually the opening statement that we began this presentation with. Listen to it again, but this time keep in mind all that we have learned.
The mystery of Bethlehem. The mystery of Bethlehem reveals itself in our spirits, more fascinating the more we advance on the path of life, and the more we realise the magnitude of the mission each one of us has to accomplish in this world, be it humble or noble, arduous or thankless. An unheard of event expected for more than 40 centuries has at last been accomplished. The Son of God is born. He has only a stable for his palace and a manger for a cradle. The hearts of the wise are thrilled by the majestic humility, and the kings of the earth bend their knees before him and worship him.
Now, this statement is of specific importance and significance for us in our investigation to discover who these wise men could have been or who they could have been representing. It is important in the fact that it summarizes for us the main essence of both the story of the wise men as found in the Bible and our Christian tradition. For example, it offers us a summary of the story in that it highlights that the event was a mysterious event that was unheard of, although expected, and that when the time came that the Son of God was born, the wise men were there to welcome him in his humble condition, who are here also styled as the self-same kings from our tradition, who bow down and worship him. Another reason why it is important, as already mentioned, is that these are actually the words spoken by a world-famous African Christian of the 20th century. And since this particular mystery is said to be able to motivate us in our modern daily lives to live more righteously, it therefore also represents a modern African understanding and view of the possible purpose of this particular story. However, its significance is in the fact that this African was actually an African king, and more precisely an emperor, ruling over the oldest Christian country in Africa and one of the oldest Christian countries in the world. It came from His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia. This is an excerpt from one of his annual Christmas speeches to the Ethiopian people. This significance is therefore further compounded when we consider his authority in this respect, as he can be indisputably linked to all the Ethiopians presented in this presentation, as well as all those found throughout the Bible, and by the fact that in 1965 he was given the title and responsibility of the defender of the Christian faith, given to him in assembly and council by all the heads and patriarchs of the most ancient Oriental Orthodox Christian churches, representing over 250 million Christians in Africa, the Middle East, and worldwide. But the statement's greatest importance and significance is in what is being stated. Now, if we look very carefully at various key words, we will see that this statement is not as innocent and simple as it may seem. And once we understand what it is actually saying, then maybe we will also begin to understand the unique heritage that African people have in both the Jewish and Christian traditions, but more specifically, what the story of the wise man could actually mean to Africans and African Christianity in particular. Well, that mysterious event that was unheard of but expected when the Son of God was born at last took place when the child we know today as Jesus, or Yeshua, was born in Bethlehem, Well, so say the wise men, His Imperial Majesty, and all other believing Christians from that time until now. However, interestingly, His Imperial Majesty also claims that this mystery that was unheard of but expected was actually expected for more than 40 centuries, which means 4,000 years before it actually happened. This indicates that somebody, a people, tribe or nation, somewhere on earth 6,000 years ago, not only knew but also was expecting and awaiting the birth of the Son of God on earth. Take a second to contemplate this. Although it may seem an implausible or impossible claim to make, nevertheless, it does give us a plausible answer and a new insight into where the wise men could have got not only their gold, incense and myrrh from, but also, what is more important, their information, knowledge and wisdom.
Cry.